Blessings to you. Hi, I'm Matia. Today is February 14th, 2026. And depending on where you are, what country, it is Valentine's Day in the United States of America. And I wasn't for sure if I wanted to do this video or not. I just wasn't for sure. But as the day has gone on, we're at the end of the day now. It's like 6:08 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, my time. So I just figured, you know what, why not? Because I want to be of an encouragement to other people. And I said I was going to tell my testimonies. Sometimes they're difficult. Sometimes they're very, very challenging. But you never know who's going to need, a word. And, who am I to keep these testimonies to myself? So this morning, the Lord woke me up very, very early. And I believe maybe about 4:30 a.m., 5 o'clock a.m. And usually, my routine is I pray before I even get out of bed. But today being an off day, I didn't get right up, but I still prayed. I was thanking God for the day. And then when I finally did manage to just actually get out of bed, I prayed again. I'm grateful and thankful to God just for another day. And I have a daily devotional that I do morning and evening. So I did my morning devotional, blessed by it. And, I commanded, to have a good day, a great day. Lord, thank you for the day. But as the day kept going on and on, this feeling of sadness and loneliness, really, and depression, and this was like a different kind of depression. I was like, just all of a sudden, it's like, oh, where did this come from? So I'm trying to just kind of brush it off. And, I'm drinking my coffee. I've drank so much coffee today. I'm sure I will be up until tomorrow. But I'm drinking my coffee and I'm, on social media, I'm scrolling, I'm, looking at, inspirational posts and encouraging posts. And the more that I scroll, then I put my phone down and it's like I'm back and forth, up and down, out of bed. And that's totally not me. But as the day went on, I'm finding I'm getting more and more depressed, And it's like, okay, I need to get out of bed. I need to get up. So I try to get up and, try to move around for a hot minute. And I'm right back in bed. It's like, oh, wait a minute. Okay, I got my coffee. I'm just like, okay, it's like I'm going to lay here for a little bit. And it's like, Lord, I'm fighting. I'm trying to fight off this feeling of depression. It was so heavy. And, I was like, okay, well, I'm going to try to take another nap. I'm going to lay back down. So I'm laying down and I'm, I doze off and wake back up again. And, I feel worse. It's like, okay, this thing, it has to get off me. I'm like totally depressed. So now I'm like, okay, Tia, get up, get yourself together, get cleaned up and stuff. Cause at this point now I smell like 5 grown men. So I was like, okay, you need to get up and get yourself together. You got things to do. So time is going on. It's like 11 o'clock a.m., 12 noon, 1 o'clock. And I'm just like, oh no. So I'm like pressing myself and, and the Lord is, tugging at my spirit. Get out of bed. Get up. Get out of bed. Get yourself together. So I struggled at least 30 more minutes. So when I finally got up at almost 2 p.m., 2:30, the Lord started moving my spirit. It's like, okay, get off, Facebook, Meta. Go listen to some music. Because I like to listen to music on YouTube. I have a lot of inspirational music. I love gospel music, you all. This is like me. I have it locked in my car. I have a gospel playlist. I absolutely love, above all, I love gospel music. So I'm playing gospel music and I'm like, okay, yeah, this is what I need. I need to get up, get the Spirit of God moving in me. So I'm up and I'm moving around. I finally get myself together and it's like, okay, I'm just gonna, I gotta do a little laundry. I'm run to the laundromat. So The Lord has instructed me on things to do. Now he said, okay, you got yourself, go wash your hair. So I'm like, and he will do that, because a lot of times when you fall into depression, sometimes you neglect caring for yourself. And, not saying I was neglecting my hair, but it's like he said, go wash a wig. Y'all being transparent with y'all. Because these are things that he's instructed me. Go wash your wig, go wash your hair, I have a routine, so I'm doing what he's telling me to do, and this song comes up in my playlist, and it was, I'm not okay. And I did share it to my page. I'd never heard the song before, but I started listening to it. Y'all check out the song. Click on the link, and some of you may have heard it before. Me personally, today was the first time I've heard it. It's been on repeat. And I think a lot of times society has convinced us that we're not supposed to say, I'm not okay. We're supposed, a lot of people say, well, you're just feeding the enemy. You say you're not okay. You're speaking death over. No, that's the place that the enemy wants you to stay at. He doesn't want you to say, Lord, I'm not okay. Because if you don't acknowledge your pain, if you don't acknowledge the state that you're in, you won't deal with it. You just kind of sweep it under the rug, like I've been doing all day long. And depression, it was getting worse and worse. I mean, it was such a heaviness that I hadn't felt in a long time. And it's like, okay, Lord, I'm looking around. It's like, okay, I'm here. I'm just depressed, and it's like it's overwhelming. It's, now all these things are playing in my head. And I've shared this before. Friday the 13th, I lost a child many years ago. It was in September, but it was on Friday the 13th, y'all. And that day, like, I'd never been a superstitious person, but I was young at that time. I was an adult, of course. But Friday the 13th, just like, for years, it just messed me up every time it came around. So yesterday was Friday the 13th, and I knew that it was going to be a bit of a tough day because I lost my daughter through miscarriage, and I almost lost my life. I did. I won't go into the details or anything, but I ended up having to be hospitalized to get a blood transfusion because I lost like half of my blood. It went down to 6, So Friday the 13th was already like, oh my goodness, here we go. And then other things that I had been dealing with at work, and just, it was a lot, and, processing things. And then the Lord had instructed me to shut down. So I had to shut my phone off for a while. But, because I'm, my job has to get a hold to me. So, I couldn't do it that long. It was a couple days it was needed. And the Lord began to deal with me on certain things. But today it just came to a head, and I was just laying in the bed, and just like, I don't know if everything just kind of hit me all at once today, because I've had some bad experiences on Valentine's Day, and I really don't celebrate it. But those memories and thoughts start to like overwhelm me, and I found myself really in a state of depression. And I don't think people understand that days like this, a lot of people are depressed. A lot of people are alone. They're feeling overwhelmed. They're feeling unloved. They have been used to spending this day with a loved one, a family member, and now they're not. And it's difficult. And, some people may not celebrate this day. We're not going to get into the whole history of it. We're just not. We're not doing that today. But for some people, they're sad, They're thinking about loved ones. They're thinking about, relationships that they used to have or wanting to be in a relationship. Some people are totally okay. But today, for some people, for more people than you really think, are not, today is a tough day. And if you're struggling today, listen, I want to tell you that don't sweep it under the rug like I did. Because I was like laid up for hours, and I just don't just lay around. I'm not a sedentary person. I'm not. But for me to be in that state, and I had been up since 4:30, 5 o'clock in the morning, and I'm still struggling to get out of bed at 2:30 in the afternoon, that's not me. even on my off days, I'm not sedentary. So listening to the Lord and acknowledging where I was, and the Lord directed me to that song. And he, I shared a couple songs, but that one in particular, about, I'm not well. I'm not doing okay. And I begin to speak to the Lord about, Lord, I'm not doing okay today. And these are the things that he wants us to share with him. And before everybody go all postal and, this, that, and the third, go back and read some of the Psalms. Go back to the book of Psalms and read some of they're not all praises. They're not all, worship and they're not. There were some times that David was really going through, and he was distraught. He was sad. He was frustrated. Even Ecclesiastes, the King Solomon, he was going through, y'all. He was going through. So we can go throughout scripture and find scriptures where a lot of the people had those moments where they were frustrated. Moses, he had many moments of like, Lord, this is too much for me. So if you're in a state today and you're really, really struggling, listen, first of all, I encourage you to please click on that link today. And this is something that I really don't just tell people to do, but that song blessed me so much. And I have been playing it over and over and over until it ministers to a place of, okay, Lord, I've released this to you. Thank you for listening to me. I don't want to stay in a place of discouragement and despair and a place of depression. I've been honest about, different seasons of my life. And there were many seasons that I was like completely depressed. I really was. I couldn't function. I literally was walking around like day to day in the days, like just barely there. And it was only because of the love and the grace of God that allowed me to face it head on, to acknowledge it, have to acknowledge it, and to allow him to help me to get through those things and go through the layers of what things were depressing me. It was accountability. It was being honest with myself, with him, and even being honest with other people, because he put people in my life that I could talk to. And over the course of the days, the Lord has been, allowing me to connect with people to help me. Like I was at work and my coworker came and we just, we talked, in between, her doing what she needs to do and I need to do. But on one of those days, the Lord, like, I don't even think she knows that she like helped me so much. And like, she was just encouraging me. She didn't even know I was just like broke down just through. But God does that. He sends people when we need it. A lot of times we don't receive it. A lot of times we don't accept it. Sometimes we shut ourselves down and we close ourselves out and we won't allow God to help us. But I thank God that in those seasons, he has allowed people to enter into my life to help me and to minister to me. And that's why I want to do this for you all. I want to minister to you. I want to encourage you. You don't have to stay in a place of brokenness. I get it. I promise y'all I get it. I understand loneliness. I understand, depression. I understand oppression. I understand guilt. I understand low self-esteem. I get it. But I also understand being delivered. I also understand giving it to God, releasing it to him, and being honest with him and letting him know I'm not okay. Today is not a good day. And once I got, sick of laying there and looking how I was looking and feeling how I was looking, I allowed the Lord to minister to me. I had to physically okay, Tia, you need to get up, because it felt like something was holding me down. I could literally feel a spirit holding me, preventing me, trying to keep me bound. I said, oh no, I'm getting up out of this bed. So listen, you may not be in a physical bed, but you may be bound and pressed down by depression and sadness and loneliness. Be honest with God and allow God to minister to you, whatever place you're in. Listen, he knows we're human. We have good days, bad days, up days, down days, in between days. That's a part of us being human. We are still human. And he knows that, and he is compassionate towards those things. But he does not want us to stay in that place, all right? So I pray that you are blessed. Please go look on my page and click on that link. It should take you over to YouTube. But it was I can't even remember the gentleman's name that sung it. It's just a beautiful song. I mean, I've been playing it over and over again, and I know that it's going to minister to you. All right, you all. Enjoy the rest of this day. It's still blessed. All right. This is the day that the Lord has made. We will rejoice and be glad in it. All right, you all. Please know that I'm praying for you. I love you, but God loves you most.